Boo, 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 boo. I'm here with Daiwa. We're gonna, yeah, you gotta get it going. You gotta get it going. We're gonna look through. This is a Shill your stack session. We're gonna look through Web3 UI. I think is that right, Daiwa?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
So Web3 UI is basically supposed to be a set of components and hooks that let you get you started really quick when you just want to build a front end for a app. Uh, I'm personally working at Moonshot and Developer DAO right now, and this is one of the first projects we built at Developer DAO. It's still in progress, of course, but this is kind of the first things we built in the open source space.
Awesome. Let's dive in and share it. So we have scaffold ETH, and then we kind of have ETH hooks and ETH components, and there's all sorts of cool Web3 component libraries and hooks coming out now. I feel like I've been building component libraries for 3 years in the dark and no one has cared, and now all of a sudden there's 4 or 5 different libraries. So it's really exciting to see these and see the little like kind of just engineering differences. But yeah, go ahead, share your screen, take us away. Let's dive in. And also like other folks on the call, feel free to jump in and ask questions as you see things along the way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This is cool. Okay, so this is just the repo. So let me just get started with what this is. So we basically have 3 npm packages. There's one called components, there's one called core, and there's one called hooks. So the difference between components and core basically is that components are just some UI layouts that don't really fetch any data. They just give you some structure that you can pass data to, and it has some like common stuff we use in Web3 apps, like an ether input, or you want to display an NFT, if you want to display like a set of NFTs, or if you want to like token gate something, stuff like that. The core package actually does all the work behind the scenes for you. So it literally has a connect wallet button that the user only has to press and it magically connects. Same goes for token gate. You just pass in a contracted address and it automatically conditionally displays content depending on whether the user has those tokens or not. And yeah, same goes for the token balance component. Right now, there aren't a lot of components in this package or overall, but yeah, we are still like in, I would say, extremely early stages of development. So yeah, let me just show you around some of these.
The best way for me to learn is like if I was building something like, here's how I would get the token balance, here's how I would token gate, here's how I'd integrate the wallet connect stuff. By the way, is your connect wallet using Web3 React, or what is it called, Web3 modal, or is it Web3 React?
So this component actually works with the hooks package, and the hooks package uses Web3 modal and ethers.
Cool.
That's basically the stack. I guess I have a demo for the connect wallet component. So this is really all you need to place a connect wallet button in your app, and the user will be able to connect to it. Yeah, and on top of this, you can just build, like, you can get the users, let's say, let's say you want to display someone's ENS. Am I connected to mainnet? Okay, this account does not have an ENS, but in theory you'll be able to see it. Okay, this one's not connected.
I guess is it a live website? I could probably, I guess you just need to connect with one that has reverse resolver.
I can like drop a link in the chat to this code sandbox. Anyone can.
I got it. Yeah, I got it here. Let's see.
So
let me see if
the concept is that you will be able to see your ENS here if you had an ENS. So this is kind of what I wanted to do with this package when I started. That there wasn't really any UI libraries that let you just get straight into building. There is, of course, there's scaffold ETH, but then you have the entire setup along with it. There wasn't really anything that was just focused towards the front end. So I would say this package is the most useful for people who are either new to Web3 or are just looking to hack together something really quick for a hackathon or just to build an MVP. Because if you wanted to build something extremely, I would say, a big project, you'd probably want to have more customization options and things like that. I mean, you'd still have those customization options if you use the hooks package, but I'm pretty sure there are better hooks package like the hooks that Scaffold ETH provides, the recently released WAGMI package. Did you guys see that?
Yep, it's a cool one.
Yeah, that's a cool package. So yeah, this is another example, but this is like kind of an old version of the project. These are old, but yeah, basically.
So do you imagine like I'm imagining like your target user, is that someone who basically they want to quickly get started in Web3? Do you imagine they'll spin up like a create React app and then import Web3-UI? Or what are some of the, like, if I was building an app, what would be the kind of like the timeline and what would I be doing to bring in Web3-UI?
So I guess we can just have a live demo right now. Let's do it. So we create a React app and we install Web3-UI/core.
So you started in Code Sandbox with like a create React app template. Is that what happened just now? Okay.
Yeah.
So as if you have create React app or some just like thin React.
Yeah, anything. Okay. It could be Next.js, it could be anything. And then you'll have to like import the provider. This basically passes down the context to all the components so that you can access everything anywhere inside your code base. Basically, you pass in the network you want the app to run on. So let's say we want this to run on mainnet. We wrap this around and you just need to like import connect wallet and
can we see what happens when you have your wallet on the wrong network? Like, could you switch it to Rinkeby real quick and see what happens?
Yeah. So if it doesn't really show any errors right now, but we still haven't implemented this in the like the this button that you're seeing, but there's a way to detect that the user is on the wrong network, and also a method that would like let them change to the correct network. So if we import use wallet and see correct network.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah. So if they are not on the correct network, kind of, let's say, show them a button.
That's awesome. That's a nice, smooth way to do that.
Yeah. Let's see if it actually works. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like it works.
Nice work. Cool.
So yeah, that's the core package. Like I said, it's still extremely early. All of this was supposed to be shipped inside one package when I like had this idea, but then we thought that it's probably better to give people more flexibility. So if someone just wants to use our UI components without having an opinion how to fetch the data, they can do that. So
that's what we've done is we've split up. We've got ETH hooks and then we have ETH components, and they're two separate NPM packages.
Yeah, and that's a great point, and that brings me to that. Without Scaffold, this project wouldn't be possible, because a lot of inspiration for this is because I used Scaffold in Moonshot, and I thought that we need to like take this and like make it available to like more people who don't necessarily have a contract they are writing. They just want to create a front end and they can just do it. So yeah, thanks to all of the scaffold lead authors who have like put in so much work. It was like one of the first things I learned when I learned Web3. So yeah, it's kind of amazing to be here with you guys.
So what about you had a token gate component, and when we do token gating, there's like a backend server that's required for that. What's happening there? How does the token gating work?
So it's definitely a bit of like me being naive, me not knowing all of this stuff. So right now it's not secure at all. But what it actually
it's like
does
security in the front end. It's just showing the user how you could do that in the front. That's a good place to start.
It's not like we probably can bake something inside of this to improve the security. We are like talking with some people who have like done this and they were looking to contribute, but for now it's just like if they have the token, display something. If they don't have it, don't display it, which some folks pointed out to me. It's not really a great way to do it.
So is there a place we can go like in terms of docs? Like, is there like a docs.web3-UI? What I'd like to see is like just a list of all your components and kind of how to implement them, a list of all the hooks and how to implement them. I feel like we have some that you could use and you have some that we could use. And I feel like we should do some more just kind of collaboration around this kind of stuff. But yeah, so awesome. What's a good docs page? Or what's a good page for us to kind of like look through this a little bit more?
So if you want to like interact with the components, we have this Storybook deployed that anyone can check out. Then we have docs for all of these packages on the NPM page. They're not really exhaustive, but they are enough to like get you started and let you understand what each of these components is doing, each of these hooks are doing. So yeah.
Awesome.
And one more thing that I was like a bit skeptical about is that since there are already some packages that implement hooks so well, I was like thinking of switching to like just using maybe scaffold leads hooks or just using Wagner's hooks instead of like using our own and reinventing the wheel again. So I'm kind of torn up on that. Like, do we really have something on our hands here, or is it just the same thing?
The hooks version 4 are really on steroids, so you might want to look at them.
Yeah, we have the creator here, Shravan. Like maybe we could all get on another call some other time and kind of talk through this, because really what we would like is a really good lights out hooks NPM package and a really good lights out ETH components package. And no matter what you're using, if you're using scaffold ETH or whatever, you can just bring those in and they're useful.
Yeah.
And there's like way less stuff in scaffold ETH and more of this stuff is just available for anybody to use. Even like your NFT display stuff. I don't think we have any components that do NFT display. And it's so there's a couple things that we could like definitely use from yours. The Ether input is like, I feel like that's such a like a clutch component. Like if I type in 10 ETH, yeah, it's showing it in way. I want to be able to like click it and switch back and forth between USD. Like they're just like a little bit different too between our components and your components. And it might be fun to just like go through each one and talk about the pros and cons of each one and see if maybe it's like, oh, we could like merge this into one thing. But that's probably for a later discussion. I think right now the goal of this video is just like, if you are a developer out there and this looks interesting, how do they get started, or where would they go to? I think basically it's like just go import Web3-UI. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is there a good landing page? This Storybook is good, and I'll share that in the notes. The link is really weird for the Storybook. Is it going to be up forever? Can I paste that to people, or is that ephemeral?
I'm pretty sure, because like the link is weird because we are using Chromatic's free plan. So the link is cryptic, but it's pinned here, so I'm pretty sure it doesn't change.
Cool.
And if anyone wants to like get started real quick, I guess just go to the repo and we have README for each of these packages inside their folders or on NPM. We have doc strings for each of these components, so you can kind of look into the source code if you want to know how each of these are working. And we have kind of this example app that it's kind of it's kind of in a weird place right now, but you could probably get an idea of how you would use this in a Next.js app. I'll paste the link to the repo. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll include those links in the YouTube video too.
Awesome. And as you can see, there's a lot of work to be done. There's like a whole list of issues, and we are still
who else
facing.
Working on these? Is it mostly you?
It's more. I would say it's mostly me, and like 70%. But then there's people like Vithart, who is a Chakra UI core team member, so he has been really helpful. Then there's people called Eric, there's Carlo, there's Camila, there's Nazi from Moonshot. I would say awesome. These are the main contributors, and this would have been impossible if I tried to do this myself.
And there's a couple parallel efforts here, and that's just kind of what happens in a decentralized world, right? There's not some like top down, we need to build this thing. It's more like lots of people recognize it, and after a while they start building something. And our hooks library is similar to your hooks library, but not the same. And it's like we should have kind of more of an offline discussion sometime, just our whole group with you, and kind of go through like, what can we steal from you, what can you steal from us, that kind of stuff.
We can create a Telegram channel.
I think that's the way to go.
Sure.
So yeah, I'll do that.
I think, like you said, we both have some really good things that we can merge. Probably Scaffold has more good than this package, but I think it's important that we like streamline our efforts so that we aren't like stepping on each other's foot, and having just one thing that people can use. That would be awesome.
I think like yeah, it's definitely possible with the hooks. It's a little harder with components because we're using Ant, but I really love what the guys have done with the UI and Storybook. It's super easy to use. It looks really nice. The code is really nice. I was just checking it out. So wow, good job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Is the ant.d stuff, this is more of like a meta conversation, but maybe Bliss can get into it too, but like our own ant.d stuff, is it locking us down? Should we be in Chakra? Like, is that a goal eventually, or are we opinionated in saying ant.d is the way to go for now?
I actually wanted us to do Tailwind, and so does Bliss. So we're free from any framework, to be honest.
Yeah, but the goal is to also kind of make these components that we have on Scaffold right now that we're currently working on, is just to make it so you can fork the Web3 logic layer and then add and wrap it around with whatever UI library that you want and UI component that you want, and you're good to go. So we're gradually getting there. It's just a slower process, but it's working.
I think we have a lot of things to share, Diva. So I think we should probably have a call. We're just going through eThooks v4, which is a big upgrade, and it does a lot of things with context and creating a layer of caching and all that stuff. But there's a lot of cool things you guys are doing with components. So like, I think like we can talk about ideas and see what we can share, or what we can actually just learn from each other. That would be kind of cool.
I kind of share the same opinion that the hooks that you guys have are probably way better than any of these hooks. And
they're very similar.
Extremely similar, because we kind of started out with different names. So we only started with one use contract hook, but then we realized that you can't really have one hook for contracts. In some cases, you just want to read from a contract and you can't ask for a signer. And we kind of ended up having the same API as Scaffold or the WAGMI package. And then we realized that, hey, something's wrong.
I think really what we use is like one of our best metrics is we just sit down and build something with it and see how it goes. So maybe not only should we have you together with us in some telegrams talking about how we could collab, but maybe, in a week or two, let's just sit down and kind of like build a few things. Like, let's build a little NFT marketplace, and maybe like we build 2 or 3 different versions, and maybe we're all on the same call and having a beer and working through it. But like, one guy's using Web3-UI, one guy's using eThooks, one guy's trying to use Web3.js and pulling their hair out. Like we should do like just kind of like a fun build session and kind of just go through and use our tools. And it'll be great for feedback for us and great for feedback for you too. So I see a lot of good collabs in the future between us, but let's get this video out there and show people just like how Web3 UI works and where they go. And then kind of maybe in the future, we may have some kind of merge or splurge or merge that will happen eventually.
Yeah, for sure. Wouldn't want to be the Web3.js guy.
Oh, I mean, Web3.js was dope. Like it was super. I used it for ETH build. Like Web3.js was very useful for what it did back in the day.
Yeah.
And even like when I switched from Web3.js to Ethers, it was kind of a headache because the mental model was different. And actually, like I think Rickmu did a better job of like splitting providers and signers and making that more obvious. But for me, I didn't even know about that. And Web3.js took care of it. So then when I switched over, it was a headache. But really, you want the end user to kind of understand the difference of that. And there's like a mental model kind of change that it takes. So any closing thoughts here? Anybody else have any questions? Awesome, man. So I'll post the link to the Storybook. I'll post the link to the NPM library. Yeah, anything else you want to see, or like your issues? Like what would be your call out to new devs coming into the space? They're thinking about, you know, what tool do they use?
So I would say like if you are new, or like if you are like just a dev, just give this a go. Build something with it. I'm sure you'll find some errors. Tell us about it. If you want to contribute, like just open an issue. If you want to put in a PI yourself, awesome. If not, someone else will take care of it. And I guess that's a good way to build a tool that all of us can use. Since I think it's needed to make all of our lives easier. So yeah, and thanks Austin and team for like taking the time out and listening to me.
Heck yeah. I feel like we have a lot of room to collaborate and coordinate.
Yeah,
so
I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Word. Awesome. Thank you, Daiwat.
Wow, amazing job. Thank you.